Hello Onslow Bulldogs, and happy Earth Day. My name is Brandon Rojas, and I'm thrilled to introduce to you the future of farming. As the COVID-19 pandemic has taught us, our current food system is not self-sufficient or sustainable for the current food crisis. Not self-sufficient or sustainable, leading to inflation and rising costs. With the increasing awareness of what we're putting in our bodies from vaccines to food, people are looking for a healthier and safer options. That's where NC Green Supply Company comes in. My vision is to be the first 100% truly organic aeroponic farm in Onslow and Pender County, utilizing the power and simplicity of the towers. Compared to conventional farming practices in soil, there really is just no competition. Our towers yield 30% more while growing 3 times faster. With this innovative technology, I'm able to cultivate a superior product that's clean, chemical-free, pesticide-free, and sustainable. All while being able to be producing 100% organic, nutrient-dense produce year-round. We call it living produce, a fresher and healthier alternative to the basic grocery store pesticide-filled produce. My initial target market includes restaurants, food trucks, and private chefs, with plans to partner up with large meal service providers such as Clean Eats of Wilmington. Eventually, at my farm, located in the heart of Hampstead, I plan to open up my farm to the local community for a you-pick experience. To get started today, I'm seeking $8,500 to complete my purchase of the 25-tower turnkey package. With this investment, it will enable me to harvest 500 plants weekly in just 3 weeks after setup. With this investment generating over $5,000 in revenue a month and a projected ROI of 200%, this investment will pay for itself in just a few months. My plans are to expand and scale up to 100 and 150 towers, supplying New Hanover, Pender, and Onslow County with healthy produce. Judges, NC Green Supply Company offers a profitable and sustainable solution to the current food crisis. Join me in creating a healthier community with living produce. Thank you. Ready for questions?
Brandon, I did have a question for you. Certainly looking at, and I think you got a great product there, but to diversify your product, I see the tower and most of those are leafy green vegetables. I do see cucumbers identified. Can you plant and grow root vegetables? Can you plant and grow things like maybe watermelon?
So you are able to grow a lot of those things. They are just, it comes with cages, and also you kind of tend to just put them on the lower sections. But we're able to put over 150 varieties of different leafy greens, big squash, cucumbers, watermelons, cantaloupe, everything can grow on these towers. It's all soilless, so there's no need for chemicals, so that makes it pesticide-free and clean.
Right. And you see the same result with 30% more
Yep.
And 3 times faster still,
Yes.
even with that?
Yes, and that was a study also done by the University of Columbia as well.
Thank you for bringing in the physical tower. As I read through the business plan, I was wondering just the size of these things.
So this right here is the home model sold by Tower Garden. So this is only 4 sections, but the traditional and the greenhouse, they go up to 11 to 13 sections, housing 44 to 56 plants. And you can keep on going higher than that depending on the structure of your building, as you can see here.
And in your business plan, I think you mentioned 100 to 150 of the towers.
Yes.
From a scaling standpoint, the size required to do that, do you currently have that? Is that built into the projections of as you get the startup, will you have to purchase more?
So that is in the business plan, that is in there. Some of the higher expenses, as we can see in the beginning of the year, are purchasing of the larger greenhouse to house for those towers.
Okay, so they do have to be contained inside a greenhouse.
Well, typically they don't. They can be outdoor and indoor, but in order for me to not use chemicals for pesticide and things like that, to really keep it strictly clean, indoors is the best.
Gotcha.
Good morning.
Hi.
So that would be the greenhouse you speak of will be the turnkey.
No, the turnkey itself are 25 towers.
Okay.
extra 25 set of towers, which are going to enable me to have 1,460 ports. So an extra one of these, a 1,460 extra of those.
And to piggyback off of Ashley's question about the fruit, do you plan to add that in, or is that a thing of the demand if it's demanded by the?
So currently, our first phase is strictly doing high product produce like basil and lettuce. Right now, my first phase is working with strictly basil. That has a higher wholesale price that I can sell to restaurants easier than selling them Swiss chard or something that they don't use in the restaurant.
Okay. So it's basically the needs of the customers.
The needs of the customer, and then I'm also going to be able to help them expand to create something new that they're not able to grow or purchase anywhere else. I'll be able to buy seeds from anywhere around the world and grow them on my farm.
Okay, and do you see this as just a sole project, or are you going to create jobs?
No, the end outcome for the capability of going to 100 and 150 towers, that does require a full time of me being there. So throughout the phasing structure of it all, I will transition out from doing what I'm doing to going to a full time. And it should happen fairly quickly with the marketing plans that I have and the current market that's out there.
You mean going into a full time just with yourself, or hiring people?
So with 100 towers, I've already have other farms that I work with for knowledge and expertise, and they say you just need 1.5 person to do 100 towers.
Okay.
So until I scale up to 100 towers, it'll be strictly me. But I also, since I'm an environmental student from UNCW, I wanted to create an internship program to have them to learn and become a workforce for me that would be free.
Okay.
Or maybe give them a stipend.
That's good.
I definitely see the benefit of a controlled environment for your produce that is typically pollinated via a bee or a butterfly or whatever that might be. How do you handle that in that?
Pollination?
Yes.
So strictly, a lot of plants don't do pollination like that. Even conventional farms, there's no pollination. A lot of the pesticide actually kills those animals and bees and insects like that, so that's why it's very detrimental to the environment. Pollinating, it would be just if I do strawberries. When we do strawberries, you can cross-pollinate the strawberries to grow. But other than that, you don't do cross-pollination.
Just a manual process?
Yes, it's just growing from seedlings to rock wool to going on a tower, just like this. As you can see, I'm able to pull it out. It's on a rock wool. And this one just came from yesterday. So I plucked it yesterday, put in some other water. So normally they're 100% looking clean. This is just because I had it in a regular water. But you can tell the difference between a grocery store romaine that I just picked randomly, looks lifeless, barely even green, versus my romaine here that you just want to take a bite from it. The crunch, the texture, the green.
Can you continue to explain the differences?
So yeah, so I brought just a few from Food Line. As you can see, I'm gonna bring them up to you to get a closer visual. Here we have really bad looking romaine, really poor looking iceberg lettuce. And this is a butterhead from my personal tower. And I will open up just to show you how big it is. I had to confine it in there. They can just keep on growing and growing on the tower.
That's from you.
So this is from me. As you can see, we'll sell it with a rock wool to keep it living. And you can see the freshness, the texture of this, and this is butter lettuce.
I was
gonna say, I kinda wanted to pick one of those and try it. You mentioned in your phases, was the initial rollout going to be the retail space with the U-Pick, or was it going to be through the restaurant?
Through the restaurants, private chefs, and food trucks first. That retail is going to be phase 4 to 5. That's after the greenhouse and storefront is completely built. And like I said, it's located in the heart of Hampstead in between 5 very large suburban communities. And it's in the food desert area, so prime location.
What's the appropriate, and I don't know if markup's the right word, but the difference in what they could get through a traditional wholesaler between what they would get with yours?
Like I was saying, with inflation and rising costs, before restaurants would buy basil for wholesale at $12, and through the COVID pandemic, that went as high as $18 per pound. And currently, living produce and gourmet basil goes for $18 to $20 a pound. So my goal is to partner with them, give them a fixed cost that does not fluctuate, and just lower the cost a little bit for them to expand my marketing.
Okay, so the cost would be lower by
Well,
purchasing through you.
if they're 14 a pound, I'm gonna charge them 13.
Okay, gotcha.
All right,
make it
that's
more
our
competitive.
time,
I think
Brad.
that's all our time. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Brad.
judges.
you.
Thank you.